Hello and welcome to the last devlog. We did it. I did it. I finally created my first game that I would say is in a position to where you could call it a complete game. There are all essential functions. You can play the game. There's a little bit of variety in how you play it. And all in all, I'm happy with it where it's at. If you are just seeing this video as your first in this five video series or six video series, I believe. That's it's awkward. I don't know off the top of my head. Yes, six. um, Welcome to the finale. If you've been here the whole time, also welcome to the finale. What you'll see going on in the background here is just me doing some tuning and some implementation of the power ups and kind of like its final form. But I'm mostly just going to um, chat about the whole experience and skills that I have started to acquire and will be working on. So let's get into it while this just goes in the background. Doing these devlogs is definitely something that I have enjoyed, especially from a perspective of practicing my talking skills and articulating what I'm doing as I re-watch the footage and comment on it. It's also just kind of fun to make the content and house it somewhere so I can see that, even though it took me a little while, I still did something and was able to share that with the world and, you know, for the whole 30 or so people that watch it per video. um, but either way, I really do enjoy this. I think for going forward, I will try to stick with more original ideas instead of just recreating. Obviously, if I do like a little game that's a platformer, not very original, but not just straight rip something that already exists. Try to add my own spin on it. Um, just stuff like that, so I can always be trying new things. Um, And that being said, working on my editing skills, as well as what kind of content I upload. In terms of the devlogs, I'm not too sure if I'm gonna do it in the same format or not. I think I'm for smaller projects, I might, but if it's something that is like truly of my own making, I might change it up a little bit. And in terms of vertical content, I will keep those as just showcases of what's going on. So leaving out the code part because nobody has the attention span scrolling through shorts or TikTok to sit there and actually look at the code and want to know what's going on. They just want to see the game. And again, practicing my editing, trying to make it a little bit more interactive and fun to watch, and then trying to stick with a consistent schedule. So working on planning things out, what exactly I'm going to add to the game, uh, and when, as well as when I will upload a video or short covering that. Lots of things to learn. Um, you might see some music or artwork related things here and there because those are things that I would like to learn at least some of the basics on. Maybe not become a professional music maker or artist, but just be able to implement things in my uh, game since I'm doing this by myself at the moment. So you might see some things here and there as well regarding those. This first step of releasing things was just to get it started. It's been pretty fun. I appreciate everybody that has commented and interacted on my posts, especially the absolute strangers. If you find yourself hearing this, much appreciated as well. Always feels good to get somebody interested enough to provide their input or ask questions, um, and just overall start becoming a part of the community. So if you noticed while I was talking, I know we said we weren't going to focus on what's happening in the background, but just in case you are noticing, um, what I was mainly doing here was doing some tuning of the power-ups, getting them to spawn correctly, and then right now I am adding a difficulty. So there will be an easy and a hard mode. If you were here for the last devlog, you would have saw that I created a room for our options, and there was two buttons. The only button we worked with in that video was the mute of all sound and music. Um, and if you stayed till the end and watched the showcase, you would have seen that difficulty button already coded in because I recorded the showcase after this little dev session here. Um, but yes, easy and hard difficulty. Um, I'll probably have to list that somewhere just in case somebody never clicks into the options that they can choose. But I feel like anybody that's going to try this out probably already has a little bit of an idea of what's going on. So again, kind of similar to how we did the mute last video, we're now just going to create a toggle for the difficulty, and it will just toggle between easy and hard, and which all it really does is change the how do I put it, in a as how do I put this? So the paddle, it kind of has like man, is it inertia? I don't even know. But it takes a second for the paddle to, let's say, turn around if you're looking at it from like somebody running. So if you're running one way, you need to do a 180, you don't just instantly bounce. And that's essentially what the enemy paddle does. So the easy and hard difficulty does is either makes that slower or makes it harder depending on the difficulty. And what that does is it allows it to keep up with the ball either faster or slower, resulting in an easy or hard difficulty. Now, whether or not that's infinitely scalable, probably not. But for the sake of just having two distinct difficulties, it works for that process. Um, but yeah, that's all we're doing here in the background. The difficulty was already set as something that has been showcased and talked about in previous videos, but now you have the option to set it yourself. And you kind of got the number that showed what the difficulty was, but then I changed that to showing its speed and then the slow uh, power ups, the slow and speed up power ups, which now spawn with a set chance every time the enemy uh, comes in contact with the ball. So every time you play through should be different. Whether or not it feels different enough, that's what play testing's for. Frankly, I don't want to sit for like 2 hours and play a game over and over to get a feel for it. Track how long it took to beat the paddle this time versus how long it took it to beat it that time. That's a whole lot of stuff that I don't think I necessarily need to do, especially for my first game. Moving into the second game, I've gotten quite a bit of asks for something that's maybe not like live play, and by that I mean something like turn-based or incremental or a mix of both. But something that is more suited for those who don't want to like have to actively be pressing a button and staring at the screen intently. So we'll maybe slow it down with that. I think with something turn-based or incremental, it also involves a little bit more complex code, and needs implementation of things that I haven't necessarily done a lot of. So I think that might be the next go around. But I'll definitely let you guys know. Need to plan it all out, whether I make a video of the planning, who knows? But yeah, as we come to the end of the video here, got about 30 seconds left. I just want to say thank you again. It has been fun. Hopefully you've seen some improvement in some kind of skill set. But the game will be uploaded to itch.io, as well as the file just raw posted in the Discord. So if you are interested, go and check it out. I will provide the links and everything on my socials. And again, thank you, everybody, and I will see you around. Peace.